Hello my dear friends, welcome to another episode of Tony Science Bytes. This is Ajay Antony, founder of the Physics Chamber, presenter, creator and broadcaster of Tony Science Bytes. In this episode of TSB, my dear friends, we are going to look at a concept in statistics, that is a branch of mathematics, and its application in a very popular sport, tennis. What has statistics got to do with sports? Everything. Statistics really rule the games, right? So in the game of tennis, when we talk about Simpson's paradox, what exactly do you mean by Simpson's paradox? I'm going to talk about three matches. The first match is the 2010 Wimbledon first round match between Isner and Mahut. The longest match in the history of the game ever. Played over 3 days and several hours. Isner beat Mahut in that marathon match. The second match that we're talking about is where Ramos beat Roger Federer at the Shanghai Open in 2015. And then most recently in the 2018 edition of the Wimbledon, Kevin Anderson booted out Roger Federer in the quarterfinals. Now what is common amongst these three matches, my dear friends, is that these three tennis matches are perfect examples of what is known as the Simpson's paradox. Now what exactly is the Simpson's paradox in tennis? Think about it. It's a paradox. Why do you call it as a paradox? Because a paradox is something which does not really follow the direction of the main data. In these cases, we call it as a paradox because you would expect something normal to happen, but that doesn't happen. In these three matches, my dear friends, the player that actually won the more number of points in the match totally actually ended up losing the match. That means Isner beat Mahut. Mahut won more number of points. Ramos beat Federer. Roger Federer actually won more number of points. And Kevin Anderson beat Roger Federer. Actually, Roger Federer won 195 points against 190 points of Kevin Anderson in the 2018 Wimbledon quarterfinals. Now, this is pretty counterintuitive, right? If in the case of cricket we talk about it, the team that scores more number of runs will definitely win the match. If you talk about football, the team that scores more goals will definitely win the match. But in the case of tennis, the player that actually wins more number of points in the match totally can actually end up losing the match, as is the case with these three examples. Why is that? It is because of the structure of the game, my dear friends. Tennis, points lead to games, games lead to sets, sets lead to match. So it is quite possible that you could actually end up scoring more points within games, but then actually lose the match. The data, when you look at it, seems to indicate that the player is winning, but then he actually loses. That's why we call it as a paradox. Nice to know. If you're interested in sport, I'm sure you will keep this information for a long time. This piece of data, my dear friends, does not decay. What is the half-life period of this information? If you love sport, it's gonna stay with you for 25 years, 50 years. Paradox. Remember that. Stay open, stay permeable, and stay strong. Bye-bye.